Did Pittsburgh make a mistake not getting a deal done with Le'Veon?
Yes, they did. And let me say, Ben Roethlisberger, I said in the beginning of this year he was slipping last year. He has been great this season and better as the season has worn on in big moments. It was not luck that Roethlisberger found Antonio Brown for that huge first down all the way down the field. It was not luck that Roethlisberger got into the end zone from where he got in. But the most relieved guy on the field had to be James Conner, who dropped a touchdown, and that was the second drop he had on that drive, critical drop. And where did it show up, the difference between Le'Veon Bell and James Conner? In the passing game. That's why Le'Veon Bell wants all the money. He's not just a running back. He's an excellent wide receiver, and not just in the slot. He can line up. You can split him out wide. Le'Veon Bell is just one of the greatest players in the game today. And to not have him on your team diminishes your chances of winning. And think about what happened here, Stephen A. Le'Veon Bell said, I'll come back for you. Just guarantee me you won't tag me again. And the Steelers said no. So it's not just about Le'Veon Bell in this season. It's about control over the players. Bell is like, look, the CBA is lopsided toward you guys anyway. And I'm using legal recourse. I'm not breaking the rules. I'm using the rules to my advantage. I will sit this season out to avoid injury so I can get guaranteed money next year. Oh, you want me to come back? I'll come back for the end of the season. But the leverage I have is I won't come back at all. If you guarantee not to tag me, the Steelers still couldn't make him that guarantee. So they wanted him back, but only if they could not set precedent of giving up any control in the future. I mean, of course they made a mistake not bringing Le'Veon Bell back, because the way they did business indicates we know we'd like him back. We know we'd like him back at this price for right now, but we refuse to give up control going forward over players in order to gain the advantage right now. They're admitting to their mistake through their behavior.
Max Kellerman, my retort to that would be, where's your evidence? Where's your evidence? It's a rhetorical question. Don't bother answering. I'll do it for you. And here's how I'm going to do it. Last time I checked, the Steelers are 7-2-1. Last time I checked, there looks to be some vulnerability on the part of the New England Patriots. There seems you don't know whether or not there's going to be vulnerability on the part of the Kansas City Chiefs because of their defense. Oh, by the way, your Chargers, those Chargers that you love so dearly, Max Kellerman, that you swear is going to be in the Super Bowl, they just lost to the Denver Broncos yesterday. Let's not forget about that. So we got all of these question marks right now within the AFC. With Le'Veon Bell, what did the Steelers do? I thought they got bounced by Jacksonville last year. I thought they got ramrodded by the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. A legitimate argument can be made, since he can't play defense for them, that Le'Veon Bell would have made no difference whatsoever. Why? Because you're looking at James Conner and the level of production that he has and how it's commensurate with the numbers that Le'Veon Bell has been putting forth. Juju Smith-Schuster has emerged as a number one receiver in this game. That doesn't mean Antonio Brown isn't. It simply means that the Steelers have two number ones. Oh, by the way, this guy Vance McDonald, this kid can play as your tight end. So you got a dual tight end threat with him and Jesse James and an experienced offensive line that's protecting a future Hall of Fame quarterback in Big Ben Roethlisberger that is flat out balling, although he struggled yesterday, no doubt, and Jalen Ramsey stepped up. Let's give him some props. He stepped up and showed out in his own way the best he could against Ben Roethlisberger after talking junk about him coming into the season. So we look at all of these things for the Steelers. In no way am I trying to imply that James Conner is better than Le'Veon Bell. That would be idiotic and ridiculous. I certainly wouldn't say that, particularly after he dropped the touchdown pass yesterday that almost cost him the game. But the reality is that his numbers are comparable and commiserate with what Le'Veon Bell has done for you in the past. The offense is explosive because you got two number one receivers and all the other additives that I mentioned. So the point is, even though I get where you're coming from, this particular season, this particular moment, there is no evidence that this has cost the Pittsburgh Steelers. Zero.
But wait,
There's no evidence.
It's not about what you or I think or what the evidence is. It's about what the Steelers think. Think about this, Stephen A. They were talking to Le'Veon Bell about him coming back.
Sure.
Here, the reason ultimately he's not back is they refused to give up the tag option. So
because they didn't want to give up control.
But now they have no control. They gave up control anyway. It wasn't about control over this player at this moment. That means it also wasn't about this season. They believed they were better with Le'Veon Bell, but they did not want to set precedent going forward for other iterations of this team and for other players who may imitate Le'Veon Bell.
Because of other bodies that they have to add to the team. And they don't want to sit up there and set a precedent and position themselves to get exposed in the future to the same maladies that may have exposed them now with Le'Veon Bell. So the question is, if you don't have Le'Veon Bell, what did it cost you? If the Steelers go to the playoffs, Max, and they go to the AFC Championship game and they lost, okay, how is that any different than what happened with Le'Veon Bell? That's all I'm saying.
So they're willing, by their own admission through their behavior, to be a lesser version of themselves this year order to protect future versions of themselves. Okay, so then if we limit the question, which I thought we're talking about here, to did they make a mistake? This Steelers team did make a mistake. This team. You can argue the franchise isn't making a mistake going forward, but this team is making a mistake. They made a mistake for this team.
Stop right there. This team, as in this season, right?
Right.
I'm saying, where's your evidence? They're 7-2-1. They're in first place in the AFC North. They're going to probably have one of the top 2 seeds. They might even position themselves to get to the AFC Championship game. I understand your point. We get it. But my point is, this season, if you want to stick to this season, where's the evidence? It hasn't shown up.
The question is, according to the Steelers' thinking, do they think they're better with Le'Veon Bell? The answer is yes. So then the question is, why isn't he on the team? And the answer is they're cutting off their nose to spite their face.
Well, they're not spiting their face. And guess why they're not spiting their face? Because of a person that we didn't mention. But when I mention it, Maximilian, you'll get a smile on your face because it's undeniable. Is it time to acknowledge that Mike Tomlin, outside of Bill Belichick, may be the best coach in football? I mean, considering the level of adversity that he has had to work, if this were anybody else, we'd have been all over them the way the Steelers were struggling this year, and then we would have sat up there and peddled them with roses to turn it around. Look at what Mike Tomlin has done.